Christian Norgard coming in. I think it makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? What, you're not...
Now, listen, I've got nothing against the player. I don't think that he's a bad player and all that. But where I am at this is he? We're at a stage where we need players where the needle's got to move, and he's not a needle mover. That's what.
Yeah,
I'm
but the
saying.
needle mover is Zubimendi. So Zubimendi is coming in that defensive.
Zubimendi is
the needle mover.
Is he a needle mover? Is he better than Thomas Partey? Is he on?
Well,
he's
the most. Zubimendi was the most sought after defensive midfielder in Europe. That's the player that people have been after, right? Liverpool wanted him.
Yeah.
Real Madrid wanted him. Arsenal wanted him. Arsenal have got him, right? It makes perfect sense to bring in Christian Norgard.
Why?
Because Christian Norgard is what Jorginho will be. So Jorginho was the backup, wasn't he? Right? And Jorginho was very experienced. Good player still, right?
I thought we'd done a fantastic job.
Yeah, so Christian Norgard is a very underrated player. We don't see... He doesn't come on our radar because he plays for Brentford. But if you speak to Brentford fans, they will say he's a really, really good player. Very, very important player for them. Look at his stats. They're right up there with the best.
I've got no problem with that. My problem...
So, well, you seem to be. You started moan already.
My problem with it is, right, I don't like say it's a problem. I'm put fans turn around and go, it's very, very good business.
It is.
Right? Is it? For what right, all of a sudden, like,
well, 10
I'll tell you why
it
would be good business if I go into the Emirates next week and my hamburger will be £14 instead of £17. That's good business because of that. That's what I'm saying. It's not business. I don't think that we've strengthened our side or our squad. Now,
hold on, wait, why?
I'll tell you why. This is what I would have done, right? What I wanted to say, I want to see game changers at this football club.
Right.
5 years into the process, I don't want to see stopgaps like Norgard is, like what Jorginho was 2 years ago, which, by the way, was a good 2 years ago.
Right. You moaned about that as well. Well,
at the end of the day, listen, we wanted to get Caicedo, right? We couldn't get Caicedo.
Got Declan Rice.
In the January, and we went and got Jorginho as a makeshift, then went and got Declan Rice. So you look at that, but I'm at the stage now where, why couldn't we have gone, right, okay, Thomas Partey's going, we're bringing in Zubimendi. Let's bring in, I don't know, a Morgan Rogers or someone else as a game changer.
Not a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, hold on, right? But your defensive midfielder then, if Zubimendi's not playing, is Declan Rice.
No, but he doesn't want to play Declan Rice there no more. He wants to push Declan Rice further forward.
Well, I'm sorry.
So last year, right, the defensive midfielder was Thomas Partey, right? And if anything happened to Partey, right, or you wanted to rest Partey, it was Jorginho. Now, both of them have left. They've both come to the end of their contracts.
Yeah.
They're both, to be fair to both of them, knocking on a bit, right? They're both getting a bit older. Now he's brought in a younger, more dynamic player who's playing that defensive midfielder, who's a top player in Zubimendi. And because Partey's leaving now, he's thinking, right, who can I get? I know they looked at I've forgotten his name now, but he's a player at Sevilla, younger player. But then he's obviously looked at him and thought, no, what I want if for Zubimendi's going to come, he's going to, even though he's got a great reputation now, going to have to grow into the league. Norgard, experienced player, great stats, he's number one in interceptions, number one, I think number 2 in tackles, one. More of a different sort of defensive midfielder to say a Partey, in that he sits and shields, a bit like what Jorginho does, sits in front of that back four and shields it. He's Premier League ready, the captain of Brentford, experienced player, 31, makes perfect sense. What's he moaning about?
I'm not saying that doesn't make perfect sense, but what
are you moaning about? I don't get you.
I'm saying at the end of the day, I want a bit better than that. I don't want a 31-year-old player now.
You've got Zubimendi.
Yeah, but what happens if this is what?
Then you've got Norgard.
This is the argument that we've got at this moment. We've got Juventus on Saturday. We've got Liverpool on Saturday, and we've got Juventus on Tuesday or whatever. What I want to bring is I don't want. We've got to play Declan Rice and we've got to play Zubimendi for both of those games. You know what I mean? What I want is, it doesn't really matter. He comes in and plays
Norgard. He guy's been playing week in, week out. Playing nearly every game in the Premier League.
Why don't we buy him
He's
2 or 3 years ago? Why don't we get him 2 or 3 years ago?
Because they had Thomas Partey.
Well, exactly.
So he didn't need him.
So he's not an upgrade on Thomas Partey, is he?
Thomas Partey's leaving.
Is he an upgrade on Thomas Partey?
Zubimendi's the upgrade.
Well, you know what I mean? Like
Zubimendi, Thomas Partey was number one. He's left.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
So now it's Zubimendi. Jorginho's left.
My ideal midfield would have been, and maybe I'm a little bit disappointed by this, would have been Zubimendi, yes, and Thomas Partey being the backup. Right, that would be.
Yeah, but it ain't going to happen, is it? Because of the weight, because of the. And to me, you know, another.
I want to talk about wages. £15 million this is costing us,
right?
In transfer, like how much is Thomas Partey going to cost over 2 years?
Yeah, but then you got his wages on. You got you've got that, but then you got a player in 2 years' time that will leave for free.
Well, so will Norgard.
Well, you could sell Norgard, couldn't you?
What in 2 years' time?
They're going to sign. He's going to sign to a contract.
How many years have we signed this Norgard on then? 3 years.
Well, I get it'll be a 3 years contract.
So why are you giving him a 3 year contract and
because he's obviously going to be on a lot less wages than Thomas Partey.
So it's all about. So it's about business then. It's about business.
Well, it's transfers are business.
It's about business then.
Transfers are business. If you got a player, right? It's now the signed. Remember how these deals go. So that's that.
I'm not worried about. But like, if this is great business and you're worried about the way,
it's great business. And he's going to be a good player.
They've just turned around and said, they've just put your season ticket up and my season ticket up.
I know that. What do you want me to do?
But it's all right. They're saving money on wages, like, you know what I mean?
But listen, if they're saving money on wages, that means they can use those wages to go and get someone else, right? You know what I mean? You know, hopefully, you know that.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not, hopefully, Rob. You know,
yeah,
listen,
well, why are you losing it? You don't know yet, do you?
I'm not losing it. You've
still got until the 1st of September.
I'm not 1st of September. Don't you come with me with that 1st of September, love.
We've still got to the 1st of September.
17th of August, right? Because I tell you what, our first 3 games, right, don't allow you that.
Yeah, all right. 17th of August.
So 17th of August, I want to. Well, in fact, 19th of July. Because that's when they go on tour.
They may not have everybody in by then.
Right. Oh, have
your main guys in by then. But listen.
January we didn't do nothing, Rob. Right.
I hear the frustration.
And I understand think the frustration.
But to me, there's nothing wrong with that Norgard signing.
No, I'm not saying there isn't.
What are you moaning about?
No, I'm not moaning about.
You are.
I am saying when people turn around and say it's good business,
it is.
It is. I am not here for I'm here to win trophies. Arsenal to win things.
Right, at
the end of the day, if Arsenal don't win nothing next season, right, I want you to turn around and go, that's all right, give Mikel another 3 year contract because
that's a completely different argument.
It was good business.
That's a completely different argument. But I'm talking about
we need to win something, Rob.
Of course we need to win something, but good business is also essential as well in running a very good football club that's run right? Because you can go out and do bad business. Go and speak to United fans, and they'll talk to you all about bad business.
Doing at the moment,
they'll talk to you about signings that when they're made at the time, people are saying, "Oh wow, that looks brilliant," and it's turned out to be an absolute nightmare.
All the time about Man United.
It's
United have won 2 trophies in the last year. Like, throw that back at you.
Yeah, you think they're happy?
No, I don't care.
You think they're happy? Yeah. No. Go and ask them about last season.
Are we happy? Are Arsenal fans at this moment in happy?
No,
I tell you what,
happy.
a lot of them are. A lot of them are. What I'm seeing is because they're going on. It's great business what we've done. It's great business.
This is bad business.
All we've done. Right,
is it bad business?
I don't think it's good business. I don't think it's bad business. I'll tell you why. Yeah, okay. Because what we've done, Rob, right, is at this moment in time, and I'm not going to lose my head about it. At this moment in time, all we've done is replace. We've not strengthened, replace. We've replaced a goalkeeper, which is a good deal, by the way. We'll go on to that. We've replaced two midfield players that have left. Right? When are we going to strengthen?
Zubimendi strengthening. Zubimendi was one of the most sought-after defensive midfielders.
Is he better than Partey? We don't know. I don't know.
We don't know,
there's an argument on that.
But it's the same level. It's the same level of play.
We're replacing, but we've got to be making this team better.
Thomas Partey is a top player, right? But
is he better than Rodri?
But he's aging now, right? He's aging.
I get that.
Is any defensive midfielder right now better than Rodri?
I don't know. That's what we've got to do.
Exactly, we don't know.
We've got to get better than these teams.
Yeah, but then we suppose they ain't better than Rodri. Then what do you go and do? You go and get the player.
I think Declan Rice.
You go and get the player that's perceived to be a player that can become either better than Rodri or as good as Rodri, which is Zubimendi.
Listen,
it's a great signing. And then Christian Norgard is not going to be your main guy.
No,
but you need these guys. You need these type of players, right? That are reliable, Premier League ready. He's going to be in there, a team player. You know what I mean? I look at that guy's stats. They're good. He scores a lot of goals. He's scored against us.
Apparently he's good in the air. And
another player that's good in the air.
But
I think it's
my
a good
biggest
signing.
question, right, and I think this needs to be answered, can he play right back?
Well, hopefully he won't have to play right back.
Well, no, because that's part of your thing. It's part of your... Thomas Partey could play right back as well. What are we going to do without a right back next season?
But remember, he's not going to be... you keep forgetting, right? Norgard, if everybody's fit and playing at their best, won't be starting.
No, I get that. I get that. Like, right? But what I'm saying,
I don't know what's wrong with us fans, right?
No.
We like to moan too much. Then if we say he didn't go and do something like that, oh, we ain't got no strength in depth. What if this one gets... Other teams make these type of signings. I remember last year when Man City bought back Gundogan, everyone was saying, oh, unbelievable business. Look what they've done. Look, he's an old player.
I remember
they bought him back for the same sort of reasons.
I remember when Man City bought Kolovich. Same sort of signing.
How old is he?
Right, 30 years of age, same sort of signing. But he weren't one that... listen, I get that...
And he weren't going to be the main guy. He only became the main guy because Rodri got injured.
I know, and I get that, like, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying, he wasn't a dial changer. But what I'm saying is that they've won titles. So it can get... We've got to somehow get over the line. Listen, this is my feeling. I've been very, very patient with Arsenal.
No, you're not. You're confusing me as well, right? Because a minute ago you said Kepa is going to be a good signing, right? But Kepa's not going to start. Kepa's in there for squad depth. Kepa's been bought
need
for
a backup goalkeeper.
Well, that's what this guy is. He's backup. No, Norgard is backup. It's the same like with Kepa. Kepa is a very good backup.
Backups, Rob. I want.
So how comes Kepa? So why is Kepa a good signing?
We are at the stage now.
Why is Kepa a good signing then?
Right, Kepa's a good signing because he's like a number 2 goalkeeper, and I think like when you look back at that, right? Then hear me out on this. I think we had 2 number 1s, and it didn't work. I think it put pressure on Raya and it put pressure on Ramsdale. It didn't work. So now you got that 1 and 2. I think that's a good fit. Zubimendi and Declan Rice are injured, right? We've got to play. You're asking Norgard then to come into these big games, and that I'm not so sure.
The guy's played like week in, week out for Brentford, right? As I said, has great.
Why? So if he's that great, why has he still been at Brentford in his prime years? Why hasn't he gone to one of the big teams?
Well, he has now. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons why Arsenal moved so quickly to get... Because notice how that moves so quickly.
Yeah, I've got to say, that's impressive. Can't they move that quick on a striker?
Well, that's another matter. But